No rain yet, slightly overcast, and you can hear the wind just a bit, about 35 miles an hour. It's topped out today. And Simcoe leading things off for the Falcons takes ball one and then a strike right after that. One of the big inclusions in the lineup this year for head coach Michelle Gardner, her second season. Simcoe, a freshman, has started almost every game this year. Been very impressive, hitting .286 in the leadoff spot. This one chopped down the third baseline and a foul outside of the reach of Lottie Landmesser, the third baseman for the Buckeyes. Simcoe reached base only twice in the first 5 starts of MAC play. 5 hits, a walk, and 4 runs in her last 4 games. So she's been pretty impressive, even though she didn't have much luck in the Buffalo series last weekend. Swings through this one, strike 3 to Hannah Simcoe. She'll set down the first out of the game for the starter for the Buckeyes. Lauren Bude hasn't had much success this season. 5 decisions, 1 win, 4 losses, 38 innings pitched, 44 earned runs, and the strikeout to walk ratio 36 Ks to 44 free bags to opponents this year. Not one of the main starters, but the Buckeyes using this midweek non-conference series to figure out their pitching staff. Now up at the plate for the Falcons, it's Peyton Steffes, the center fielder, newly at the top of the lineup. New inclusion there in the Buffalo series last weekend. Batted third and then second twice. This one lofted in the air, right field, gonna get over the head of the right fielder, Parisian, and Steffes is gonna cruise into second with a 1-out double. Good hit for her, and did look to carry. Parisian was shaded up the middle towards center field a little bit, and more so in the right center field gap, and it went right over her head, and that's a misplay normally she's not going to make. A very steady outfielder is Hadley Parisian, the junior. Now up at the plate, Taylor Barrett, a runner in scoring position, and 1 out, takes low and inside for ball 1, does the Falcon first baseman. Taylor Barrett has a hit in each of her last 12 starts. A 12-game hit streak was broken up by no start against Western Michigan at a pinch hit appearance and no hit, but only that one at bat that ended in an out. But in her last 12 starts, 17 for 42, 7 runs, 5 RBIs, 4 doubles, 4 walks. An impressive player Taylor Barrett is, not talked about enough for how she anchors the middle of this lineup. Butte left one just low, wearing number 23 for the Buckeyes, who wear their all gray uniforms today. White socks, red lettering outlined by the white. A very clean look for the Buckeyes. The Falcons wearing their all whites on the road today. Barrett with the 3-0 count takes strike 1. Runner on second, Peyton Steffes on a 1-out double. The first at-bat of the game, a strikeout for Hannah Simcoe. Falcons playing the Buckeyes for the first time since 2010. That was a 2-game series midweek, and it was swept by the Scarlet and Gray, as Taylor Barrett will draw a walk and take a stroll down to first. Now 2 on and 1 out for the shortstop, Cam Kaufman, stepping up to the plate. She's been an on-base machine. Kaufman has 2 walks each game against Buffalo. That was 3 games across 2 days. That was the most times on base in a 3-game stretch in her career. 9 times reaching on 12 plate appearances. She was impressive. She's been patient in the box, and you see that again. She takes ball 1. Simcoe, Steffes, Barrett, Kaufman at the plate, then Chevalier, Hunt, Martin, Izzy Ray, the freshman in the lineup for BG, and then Hannah Massaro, the 9-hitter for Bowling Green. Taking strike 1 is Kaufman. She's got an even 1-1 count. One pitch coming from Buda. Chasing up high was Kaufman, and it's a 1-2 count for the sophomore. Just over an 8 ERA on the season for the Ohio State starter. 16 appearances, only 7 starts, 1 complete game, and just under 40 innings pitched in her 16 appearances. Kaufman spoils this one down the first baseline, and it'll keep it at a 1-2 count. Steffes stands on second. Berndt stands on first. Double play is in order for Ohio State. They don't turn very many. A team that gets the ball in the air quite a bit, more than the Falcons. 1-2 pitch, spoiled again by Kaufman over the press box. Kaufman at the plate, the junior shortstop, 12-game hit streak to start the season, 16 hits during those 12 games. Has dried up a little since, but very nice at-bats from Kaufman, and she's putting one together here. 2 spoiled foul balls in a row, and now takes another ball, so it's a 2-ball, 2-strike count. Battery today, Emma Tolley and Lauren Buda from Ohio State. Buda winds and delivers the 2-2, rolls it up to the plate. Tolley can't stop it, and both runners will advance. It's second and third with 1 out for Cam Kaufman with a full count. Ashley Chevalier on deck. Hannah Hunt in the hole for the Falcons. Gardner giving claps to her, one of the leaders on this team, her junior shortstop. A mound visit from Tolley out to Buda to try and settle her down. She's got a full count, needs the best pitch of the inning right here. There's 2 runners in scoring position and only 1 out. So if you're Kaufman, situationally, a fly ball, a ground ball to the right side might be able to get a runner in, and a single may get 2. Berndt not slow on second base. The payoff pitch, right over the middle of the plate, and it hit Cam Kaufman with her elbow. Looked like less over the middle, more on the black. I have a sharp angle toward the plate, and head coach of Ohio State is going to want an explanation. Kieran Kumar was previously a 4-year head coach at Miami of Ohio. That was her first head coaching gig that Kumar had. 2021 to 2024, had 3 40-win seasons. 4 times won the Mid-American Conference regular season, 3 times the tournament championship, and when Ohio State needed a new head coach, they went right to Kieran Kumar, and she's trying to put together a dynasty here. So the umpires will converge, talk things over, and Kaufman will stay on first base with a hit-by pitch on a full count. Bases loaded up for the catcher, Ashley Chevalier, and now a stroll out to the mound, the pitching coach for Ohio State, Courtney Viestra. Got Buda, who's on the mound now, a Big Ten All-Freshman team honor last season, her first season. That was the first season of Viestra's time at Ohio State as well. She was also a pitching assistant coach at Miami of Ohio under Kumar, 2023 and 2024 season. Coached a MAC Pitcher of the Year, Freshman Pitcher of the Year, and 2 first-team All-MAC nominations. Very successful pitching coach in just a couple of years. A graduate in 2022, immediately an assistant with Miami, and now, after just 3 years removed from playing the game, she's coaching at the Big Ten level. So the talk is over. Back to the bench goes Viestra, and Ashley Chevalier steps into the box. Chev's hitting .206 this season. Some good at-bats in the last series against Buffalo. She's got a big at-bat here with bases loaded and only 1 out in the first inning. 3 base runners in a row, 1 on a double, 1 on a walk, and 1 on a hit-by-pitch from Lauren Buda in the circle for Ohio State. Buckeye delivers over the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike to Chevalier. Hannah Hunt waiting on deck for the Falcons. A dangerous 6 and 7 batter again for Bowling Green. Hannah Hunt had a heck of a last series. Will stay in the 6th spot. Addie Martin has played better the last couple. She's in the 7th spot today. Chevalier pops this one up behind Tolley's head and way out of play. A nice catch by one of the fans here at Buckeye Field. Almost a 400 on base percentage this season for Chevaliers. Jumped into the starting catcher spot for the Falcons. 3 for 8, 3 RBIs against Buffalo last weekend. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Buddha misses inside. Two and 2 count. Peyton Steffes lurking on third base. Still just a fly out. Mid-deep needed. Ball's going to carry. Wind blowing dead out to center. 2-2 pitch. Chev was trying, but popped it away. You could see her eyes there looking out toward right field, looking to lift the ball. And it probably would have carried enough to get Steffes in. Steffes, one of the quicker runners for the Falcons. 5-game hit streak. Currently, 2 hits in 2 games against Western. A hit in each game against Buffalo. She extended that to 6 with her double today. A good rip out to left field from Chevalier. It's going to drop in for a single. The try for the force play at third won't be there in time. And an RBI single for Ashley Chevalier will score a run and keep the bases loaded. Not much of a whack, but just got it out there enough. Kaufman advances to second. Barrett advances to third. Chevalier stands on first safely in the same situation. Still a sac fly will get the run in. Barrett, 2 stolen bases in game 2 against Buffalo. That's a career high for her. Also scored a couple of runs in the series. Hannah Hunt fouls 1. Back to the backstop. Second baseman for Bowling Green today, Addie Martin on deck. A dangerous 1-2 punch in the 6-7 spots. 0-1 pitch from Buddha. Tries inside and misses off the plate. She has pitched nearly exclusively inside in this first inning. Still just top of the first. The Falcons have 1 run across. That was Peyton Steffes. A double, advanced on a pass ball, and then scored a run on the single from Chevalier. Now this one bounces up to Hunt, hits her in the left ankle, and that hit by pitch will score another run. Taylor Barrett will come home. Kaufman to third, Chevalier to second. Hannah Hunt takes first base. The second hit by pitch and the third walk of this first inning for Lauren Buddha. It's a 2-0 lead for the Falcons. Addie Martin up at the plate. In the words of Coach Gardner, she's been swinging too big lately. She's got wind in her favor today. Takes strike 1. Izzy Ray now on deck. The freshman has only made a couple of starts this season. First career extra base hit against Buffalo. Addie Martin, 1 for 15 her first 5 MAC games. Batting .500 her last 4 with 6 hits, 3 runs, 2 RBIs. 4 of those 6 hits, extra base hits, also 2 strikeouts. And the last game against Western Michigan and the 3 most recent games against Buffalo. 1-1 pitch, swing and a miss. Addie Martin is a strikeout threat. 9 strikeouts in the first 5 MAC games, 9 of those in 15 at-bats. 2 strikeouts in the last 12 at-bats for her, so better, but still a threat to the strikeout. 1-2 pitch coming from Buddha. And another swing and a miss. 2 strikeouts in this first inning. 2 runs across, though, for Ohio State. Izzy Ray will step to the plate with 2 outs and the bases still loaded. Hit a triple against Buffalo. That in game 2, her first career extra base hit for the freshman. Also her first career hit by pitch in that game. Her only appearance against Buffalo was that game. This one tapped down the third base line out of the reach of Landmesser and foul. Hannah Massaro, the last hitter in the order, she is on deck. The Falcons technically threatening to bat around. Ray batting in the 8th spot today before we turn it to Ohio State's lineup. Buddha with the 0-1, up high of the waist of Izzy Ray. Falcons wearing their all whites. Ohio State wearing all grays, a pleasing jersey mashup. Outfield is grass for Buckeye Field, infield dirt. and area behind the plate, turf. This one lined out into left field. Under it is Cruz, and Taylor Cruz will put it in her back pocket for the third out of the top of the first inning. The Falcons scratch 2 across, 1 on an RBI single, Ashley Chevalier, and 1 on a hit by pitch by Hannah Hunt. The Falcons strand 3 and go to the bottom of the first inning. You're listening to Falcon Softball here on WBGU 88.1 FM.
On September 13, 2025, BGSU football tight end Jacob Harris hauled in his first career touchdown reception in the Falcons' 23-13 homecoming victory over Liberty at Dwight L. Perry Stadium. Falcon Media Sports Network's Tyler Kavlitz had the call of the play on Falcon Radio.
Markel Porter in the backfield. Pine's going to keep it, going to launch to the right side. That is caught in a touchdown by Jacob Harris. What a catch by the sophomore tight end in the end zone to put Bowling Green up 9-0 over Liberty.
This has been a Falcon Media Sports Network featured call.
Before I came to Alcoholics Anonymous, I thought all the people that I knew who didn't drink were self-righteous people, holier than thou. So it never occurred to me that Alcoholics Anonymous was filled with people who had drank like I did, and now were the same people that I used to drink with, the same people that I liked, only now they weren't drinking. They were people just like me who had been drinking for a long time and found out that it didn't work for them anymore.
Visit AA.org for more information and download the Meeting Guide app to find a meeting near you.
You are listening to Falcon Media Sports Network coverage live on 88.1 FM and streaming on bgfalconmedia.com.
Back here at Buckeye Field, the first time Falcon softball has played Ohio State since 2010. That was a sweep for Ohio State here at Buckeye Field, April 14th of 2010. 10-0, they beat the Falcons game 1, and 4-0, they beat the Falcons in game 2. Now on the mound for Bowling Green, or not the mound, the circle, should say, got baseball in my head. Olivia Roth for the Falcons. She's been impressive her last couple of appearances. She's working against leadoff batter Hadley Parisian. Parisian, the right fielder, a pretty well hitting one as well. 381, leads the team in her 20 starts this season. 11 home runs and only 13 extra base hits, so those 2 extras are doubles. And she's got, as I mentioned a couple of times, a decent wind blowing out into near dead center field. Roth rolls one up. A 2-0 count now from Roth to Parisian. Solid on base percentage for Parisian as well, almost 500. And by solid, I mean great. That is a fantastic mark. The junior, a left-handed batter, Olivia Roth, right-handed throw up high of the waist, and Parisian takes her base. Abby Wilhelm steps to the plate, another power threat, but much more than Parisian is. 11 home runs, 2 doubles for Parisian, 13 home runs, 5 doubles, and 4 triples for Abby Wilhelm, batting in the second spot. Roth has a runner on first and no outs, deals low and inside to Wilhelm. Olivia Roth, 3 earned runs or less in her last 3 starts. Combined 16 innings pitched, 10 hits, and 7 earned runs. Not bad for the Falcons, who really have a rotation of 4 starters now. Mackenzie Kraftsick, certainly the ace. Morgan Beckham, statistically the best pitcher in the Mid-American Conference, in Mid-American Conference play. Madison Wendell's had some bright spots, and Olivia Roth as well, been a huge positive for the Falcons. A 2-1 count from Roth to Wilhelm, struggling to find the zone early. Sammy Bawick up after Wilhelm, and then Taylor Cruz, the cleanup hitter for Ohio State today. 2-1 pitch way up high. Chevalier backpicks to first, but doesn't get Parisian. Parisian not really a threat on the base paths, but not much of a threat all around on the base paths for Ohio State. Just one stolen base for Parisian. The team lead has just 5. Wilhelm takes up and inside on a 3-1 count and strolls down to first base. That's the second walk of the game for Olivia Roth. And Michelle Gardner is going to walk out to her pitcher after a 5-pitch first batter, a 5-pitch second batter, both walks, and now Ohio State threatening in the first inning. Bottom of the first, the Falcons with a 2-0 lead. But first and second and no outs. Gardner, a pitcher herself, talking in the circle now. Pitched for Michigan from 1985 to 1988. Assistant coach at BGSU right after that from 92 to 94. I believe that was her first assistant coaching gig. And then Florida State and Arizona State, Coastal Carolina. Head coach at Nevada, that her first gig, won a Coach of the Year award and the Western Athletic Conference at Nevada. Also a head coach at Indiana and now at Bowling Green, following being an assistant at Coastal Carolina. So now a fresh count. Up at the plate is Sammy Bewick. A stolen base try down to third. Kaufman dives to save the ball, but it hit Parisian up high. Stopped it from rolling into left field, and we're going to take a second to make sure Parisian's okay. That hit her certainly above the waist. She's standing up now, looks to be okay. Double steal for Ohio State. They stand on second and third safely now. Parisian to third, Wilhelm up to second. Chevalier kind of pumped the ball when she had it originally. Had she thrown it immediately, probably would have got the lead runner, Parisian, streaking toward third, but did double pump and thus did not get the runner. Pitch also called a ball to Bewick. Coaching staff of Ohio State checking on their runner. And Parisian is okay, so she'll continue to run. She stands on third. Abby Wilhelm on second. No outs with the third batter, Sammy Bewick, up. Second baseman hitting .367 this season. 15 extra base hits, 6 home runs. 27 RBIs, batting third for Ohio State. This one trickles in down low for ball 2. And now a hitter's count for Bewick with 2 runners on and a good scoring chance for the Buckeyes. Bewick wears number 6. Taylor Cruz, the left fielder, on deck. Kiki Estrada in the hole, the designated hitter. And again, low, and again, a 3-0 count. Roth certainly struggling to find the zone. Hasn't had too much walk trouble this season. 13 walks, only 7 strikeouts, but the 13 walks in her 9 appearances isn't too bad. Gains the force out with a walk, but that's the only thing she gains on that at bat, a 4-pitch walk, and Roth is going to exit the game after just 3 batters. 3 straight walks for Olivia Roth. Now Mackenzie Kraftsick will warm up for Bowling Green. Take a quick step back, middle of the bottom of the first inning. You're listening to Falcon Softball here on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Falcon Media Sports Network produces weekly short-form and long-form social media pieces for in-season sports all year long. Make sure to check out at BG_FMSN on Twitter/X and at BG Falcon Media on Instagram and Facebook to view the content.
Here's that song again. Here's that song again. For the 100th time today. Here's that song again. It's gonna be stuck in your head all day. Here's that song again. It will make you cray, cray.
You love your kids enough to watch that TV show a bajillion times. Love them enough to make sure they're in the right car seat for their age and size. Show them you love them. Keep them safe. Visit nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Check out more Falcon athletic coverage online at bgfalconmedia.com.
Mackenzie Kraftsick technically going to get a relief appearance. This is just her 4th of the season, although Olivia Roth, the pitcher of record, did not record an out. 3 straight walks, the bases loaded, and no outs in the bottom of the first inning. The Falcons scored 2 in the top, a single from Ashley Chevalier to score Peyton Steffes, and then a hit-by-pitch walk with a full count from Hannah Hunt, who gets the RBI. Kraftsick rolls one up to the plate. Chevalier stops it and holds the runners in place, and a 1-1 count for Mackenzie Kraftsick to Taylor Cruz. Taylor Cruz batting cleanup, another solid power hitter. 13 home runs, tied for the team lead, hitting .333 on the season, has started all 33 games in left field. This one a pop-up and out of play. And ahead of the count is Mackenzie Kraftsick, the first time that a Falcon pitcher can say that today. Roth has had some pretty solid appearances for Bowling Green, but that's not the best one. 3 walks on 3 batters, and Gardner goes to what is technically the bullpen. Cruz fouls it off the screen, keeps it a 1-2 count. Kraftsick does a good job of getting weak contact, a lot of ground balls from her, and if one goes right to the Falcon fielders, they'll have a plethora of options, a force at all 4 bases. Kraftsick, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Delivers to Cruz. This one popped out in the air, left field, foul outside of the fence. No play for Simcoe and left field for BG. Falcons with their first series against Ohio State since 2010. In just the second year of head coach Michelle Gardner, there was a game against the University of Michigan that was taken off of the schedule, and still no word back on that, whether it's being added back. But that another Big Ten opponent for the Falcons. 2-2 pitch to Taylor Cruz, up high. The junior left fielder has worked the count full, and the Falcon pitcher's at risk of walking the 4th in a row. Kiki Estrada waits on deck. The catcher, Emma Tolley, in the hole. Still no outs for the Buckeyes. Kraftsick, ground ball, shortstop. Cam Kaufman gloves it, drops it right down, and we'll see what they rule that. Hit her right in the mitt, would have had a play to at least get an out. So I'd imagine that's going to be an error to Cam Kaufman. If it is an error, that'll be her first error in 14 starts after a poor fielding start to the season. She allows a run there. Wilhelm advances to 3rd. Bewick advances to 2nd. Cruz safe on 1st with the error. And now Kiki Estrada up with the same situation and 1 run across the board for Ohio State. It is going to be a fielding error to Cam Kaufman. That left side of the infield has been so strong generally for the Falcons, as the delivery from Kraftsick is outside. So no RBI yet for Ohio State, but they have a run in. The Falcons singled and walked in their 2 runs. A good offensive start for both teams, but better for Ohio State as they've yet to record an out. Two-one count to Estrada. Swing and a miss. Estrada versus Michigan State last week, 4 for 8, 4 RBIs, 2 runs, and 2 home runs. A lot of that damage she did. Also a walk, 2 strikeouts. Impressive weekend for her, and a weekend for Ohio State that they did not give up a run through 3 games. There's strike 3. Kraftsick to Estrada. She sits down swinging, and now the Falcons have their first out across, and a double play that they're hopeful for will get them out of the inning. Emma Tolley, the catcher, will step up to the plate. Not exactly the fastest runner in the world, a double play threat if they can get the out somewhere else. Swing and a miss on a big cut by Tolley. 3 home runs this season, or only 3 extra base hits. Does only have 4 hits, though. Only 8 starts for her. Bounced up to Chevalier and makes a good block. It's a 1-1 count to the Buckeye catcher. Lottie Landmesser due up next. She has 17 starts, these back-to-back hitters, not everyday players for Ohio State. Tolley catching Buddha in that first inning as she gave up 2 earned runs on a couple of walks and put herself in trouble just like the Falcons did in this inning. Olivia Roth led off the inning with 3 straight walks. Kraftsick trying to work out of it now in relief. 2-1 pitch, high fly ball, deep center field, gone! A grand slam for Emma Tolley. Brings 4 runs across, a 5-2. Ohio State leads, her 4th home run of the season. Caught the wind in the right spot and sent it over the center field fence.
Buckeyes now lead it 5-1.
A big swing that one was for the Buckeyes just in the first inning. 7 runs across, 5 for Ohio State, and they've given their pitcher, Lauren Buddha, a pretty solid berth to work with when she steps back out in the second. Now Lottie Landmesser with the bases empty. Mackenzie Kraftsick going to get credit for the home run, so she'll get an earned run for that, but none of the other runs that have been given up this inning attached to her. 3 of them to Olivia Roth, who did not record an out, and another one on an error will just be an unearned run. Landmesser, 17 starts, only 36 at-bats and 5 hits in those 36. 2 of them extra base hits, a double and a home run. Kraftsick with a 2-0 count to Landmesser. This one, pop fly out into shallow center field, just behind the second base bag. Actually, Hannah Hunt will call it off, second baseman, and she'll make the catch. Third baseman out, just the second out of the inning. The other one a strikeout from Kiki Estrada. Sarah Tarr, the last hitter in the order for Ohio State, now up. Skylar Lamone, the second to last hitter, the center fielder for the Buckeyes. Takes ball 1, just missing the outside edge of the plate is Kraftsick. The grand slam for Emma Tolley brings her to 9 RBIs this season, nearly doubling on one swing her season RBI total. Again, we mentioned just 8 starts this season for Emma Tolley. Just her 5th hit and her 4th home run. All or nothing for the catcher, and it was all here in the first inning. Fouled off. Lamone makes it a 1-1 count. Sarah Tarr, the first baseman, up and threatening to turn over the order again is Ohio State. The Falcons with the same amount of batters so far. This one's lofted in the air to center field. Doesn't have the legs to get to Steffes, and it'll drop in for a single from Lamone. So Ohio State will bat at least one more batter in this half than in the first half inning of the game, and they'll have 3 more runs across. Sarah Tarr hitting just a .188 this season on 27 starts, 12 for 64, and 5 extra base hits. Just over a 600 OPS, not the best mark, but a very well-fielding first baseman is Sarah Tarr. Started 4 games 2 weekends ago in the Ohio State tournament they hosted here. 1 for 9, a walk and 3 strikeouts. And did not start a game versus MSU, so this her chance to earn her way back into the lineup. She started the season on a stretch of 11 starts, trying to earn her way back to that spot. Kraftsick missed the mark, and it's a 2-1 count to Sarah Tarr. Turn it over to the top. Hadley Parisian on deck. Walked for the first batter in the game. This one deep out into right field at the track. Massaro makes the catch. That ball really drifting toward the fence. One of them drifting outside of it. That was Emma Tolley, that with the grand slam she hit in this bottom of the first inning gives Ohio State a 5-2 lead. The Falcons back out with their bats in the top of the second. You're listening to Falcon Softball here on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Bill Beskid, BGSU Radio Faculty Advisor. You can catch all the Falcon Media Sports Network broadcasts on our 2 stations, WBGU 88.1 FM and Falcon Radio, which can both be found on bgfalconmedia.com. I Ziggy.
Most people out here think that taking care of one another is important. And most people would step up for a neighbor going through a tough time. Most people around here help out friends and family when they need it. But the funny thing is, most of us won't look for help when we need it. Talk to someone if you're struggling with mental health, because most people out here really care. Find more information at loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
Looking for the perfect jazz soundtrack to your day? Tune in to Jazz Unlimited on WBGU 88.1 FM. Every weekday from 9 to noon, enjoy a carefully curated variety of jazz handpicked by jazz aficionado Mark Zaborni. Catch Mark live every Wednesday as he takes you on a smooth journey through the best jazz sounds. Jazz Unlimited on 88.1 WBGU FM.
Join the Zig Zone Sundays from 4 to 6 p.m. on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Ball 1 to Massaro. Buddha gets ready to deliver the second pitch of the top of the second inning. The Falcons on the road, swing and a foul back to the screen for the sophomore right fielder for the Falcons, batting ninth, and we'll turn it over to the top of the order. The Falcons with 2 runs on 2 hits and 3 left on base in that first inning. Ashley Chevalier with a RBI single that scored Peyton Steffes after her leadoff double to start the game. And then Hannah Hunt with a hit by pitch with bases loaded. That's an RBI, and that got a run in. Unfortunately for the Falcons, Ohio State scored 5 in the bottom of the first, capped off by a grand slam by Emma Tolley, the catcher. She's behind the plate again, working with Lauren Buddha. It's a 1-2 count to Massaro as she fouls one out of play. Buddha with some trouble in the first. Tries to start this one off strong. Massaro chips it away. So it'll stay a 1-2 count. Lauren Buddha in 2025 was a freshman. Made the Big Ten all-freshman team. Was a freshman All-American according to a couple of sources that do some voting on the All-Americans. 1-2 pitch from Buddha. A nice cut, a big cut by Massaro, and it's back to the screen. Buddha hit 2 batters in the first inning, walked 1, contributed to, well, 2 of those contributed to loading the bases, one of them scoring a run as Massaro continues to stay alive. Struck out 2 batters, Hannah Simcoe to lead off the game, and Addie Martin with bases loaded. She got 2 outs with bases loaded and some very nice pitching around some very big trouble, although the trouble looks a little bit better when you compare that to what Ohio State had offensively in the bottom of the first. Again, fouled off by Massaro. She can't square any of these up, but Buddha can't beat the sophomore 9-hole hitter. Massaro hitting just 195 this season, trying to break over that 200 mark that she failed to eclipse last season in a lot of starts. This one flied into right field, and an error made by the right fielder, Parisian. She caught it right in the palm of her glove, and then it fell right down at her feet. First batter is aboard for the Falcons, an error for Hadley Parisian. Back to the top of the order, Hannah Simcoe. Massaro not slow, but not fast. Falcons here with a bunt called for to Simcoe, and she bunts it foul. Michelle Gardner sticking to her team's identity, trying to advance base runners, use team speed, playing almost a small ball. And we'll see if the strategy changes at all throughout the course of this game, because the wind just changes the way the game can be played. We saw that with that home run in the first inning. 0-1 pitch, no bunt from Simcoe. She lets it go outside. 1-1 count with a runner on first for Massaro. Hannah Massaro had an RBI double and a walk on the first game against Buffalo. Reached base 3 times versus Buffalo, her most in a series since week 1. Now is on base her first at bat, or first plate appearance today. It's going to be 0 for 1 on the error, but she's going to be on base. This again, a bunt shown by Simcoe. She fouls it back to the backstop. And now a 1-2 count coming from Buddha to the freshman leadoff bat for the Falcons. Buddha winds. 1 ball, 2 strikes, delivers. Slap down third base line, caught in foul territory by Landmesser. That chopper down the third base line is something coined by Simcoe. She doesn't elevate the ball that much, which Michelle Gardner tends to like, especially in the leadoff position. Tends to find gaps when she can. Swings through this one, and strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts swinging for Hannah Simcoe. That is not a huge strikeout threat, and yet has done it in back-to-back at-bats in back-to-back innings. Only 4 strikeouts coming into the game today for Hannah Simcoe, and she's already struck out twice. Peyton Steffes takes up high from Buddha. Buddha's got her 3rd strikeout of the game and just her 4th out achieved. Still on first base, Hannah Massaro. Now at the plate is Peyton Steffes. She doubled and scored in the first inning. The first run across for the Falcons. 5-2 Buckeyes lead. 1-1 pitch from Buddha outside. Conservative look at first base from Massaro. The Falcons need to get 3 runs back, and odds are 1 base runner advancing not going to do too much, so not too risky is the plan for Gardner, at least right now. 2-0 pitch, check swing, Steffes, and she didn't go. .3-0 the count to Steffes. She swung in the first pitch in the first inning and got that double that started the Falcons off very nicely. She flashes bunt on the 3-0, and it's a strike across from Buddha, who's not fooled. 9 starts in MAC play for Peyton Steffes, the last 9 games played for her. 11 for 25, 5 RBIs, only 1 hitless game, and that was against Western Michigan. Just outside, Steffes will take first base. 3-1 count is lost by Buddha. That's her 2nd straight-up walk, her 4th counting hit by pitch. 2 runners on, Massaro on 2nd, Steffes on 1st. Massaro reached on an error by the right fielder, a lazy pop fly to shallow right, and Parisian dropped it. Taylor Barrett at the plate takes strike 1 from Buddha. Hadley Parisian, that is her first error this season, and we'll see if it results in a run for Ohio State. An uncharacteristic error, not just for her, but for college softball. Kind of thing you see happen in Little League and the like, hitting you right in the palm and then just not squeezing it. 1-1 count for Taylor Barrett. She walked in the first inning to make it 1st and 2nd with 1 out. Only out in this inning, Hannah Simcoe, the strikeout. Fouled out a play by Barrett. That one up at the waist. 1-2 count from Buddha. She's lived around the zone most of the day today. Not many pitches, more than about a couple of inches outside. She hasn't missed by a lot. And for a Falcon team that's focusing on contact recently, might not be the winning recipe for the Ohio State starter. She just hit her 3rd batter. Barrett will stroll down to 1st. Lauren Buddha has hit 3 batters. She's walked 2 on 5 free bases to Bowling Green. And now for the 2nd inning in a row, they have bases loaded and a chance to do damage with Cam Kaufman. Cam Kaufman had a plate appearance in the first inning with bases loaded. I'm sorry, she had 2 runners on. She had first and second, and she was hit by a pitch. Ashley Chevalier with a bases loaded opportunity. She singled to knock in Peyton Steffes from third. But now in another bases loaded situation, it's Cam Kaufman as runner in scoring position. 5-2 Ohio State leads at Buckeye Field, the home of Buckeye softball here in Columbus. 79 degrees at game time and about 32 mile an hour winds we've averaged since we've been here in Columbus for about 2.5 hours now. We're just in the top of the second inning. First pitch fouled off by Kaufman. Kaufman, Chevalier, and Hannah Hunt due up for the Falcons. 1 out this inning, a strikeout by Hannah Simcoe. Back-to-back innings with a strikeout for the leadoff bat. Buddha on the 0-1. Up high, Kaufman thought about it but didn't go around. Cam Kaufman, an error in that first inning. Her first error in 14 starts. First 2 weeks had 8 errors and 36 chances in the field. There's a called strike. And it'll be a 1-2 count to Kaufman with bases loaded. But 8 errors in the first 2 weeks of the season since she's just had 4 and a .970 fielding percentage, but an error there in the first may have cost the Falcons. Don't know how it might have ended up. Fouled out of play by Kaufman, an outside pitch that she spoiled. And now it stays a 1-2 count and a deeper at bat for Buddha. She's ahead in the count, has been ahead in the count a lot, and just failed to get outs. Hit by pitches have got her out of 2 ahead in the counts. We'll see if she goes back inside. 1-2 pitch, swing, and a foul back to the screen. A big cut from Kaufman. And you're seeing head coach Michelle Gardner recognizing the big cut and telling her to keep her nose to the softball. 5-2 Ohio State leads. Lauren Buddha to work herself out of trouble. Bases loaded, 1 out. Cam Kaufman at the plate, the 1-2 pitch. Popped and out of play. Continuing to fight this at bat is Kaufman. She's got a 1-2 count, has for the last 3 pitches. Lauren Buddha, a very nice freshman season, and if you believe in the sophomore slump, she's hit it this year. An 8 ERA coming into today, a 3.3 ERA last year, and was one of the best freshman pitchers in the Big Ten. Another 1-2. Line down the third base line, foul. Got around on the off speed a bit too much, did Kaufman. The left fielder Taylor Cruz was not going to be there in time, even if it landed fair, but it was about 2 feet foul. So with 1 out, still a 1-2 count. There's not a lot of pitches Buddha hasn't thrown besides out of the zone. So maybe if you're the Buckeye starter, you exit the zone here and set up. 1-2 pitch. Called strike 3. Umpire said it hit the waist. Cam Kaufman didn't think so. Jose Travis, the home plate umpire. He rings up. Cam Kaufman looking. That's the 4th strikeout of the game for Lauren Buddha. 2 walks, 3 hit by pitches as well. Ashley Chevalier up again. Her second plate appearance with the bases loaded. Swings through strike 1. Chevalier had 3 RBIs versus Buffalo. Impressive mark for that weekend for the Falcons. Struggled a bit offensively, especially in the first game on Saturday. They're low and inside, just missed. Chevalier with a 1-1 count. Catcher for the Falcons, one of the best defensively in the Mid-American Conference, and that's why she keeps getting the nod in the lineup over Ava McKee, who might be a better offensive player. Chevalier so good at limiting the run game of the opponents. She's had 1 try on stolen bases today, threw down to third base, but after a double pump just a bit late. to catch Hadley Parisian, stealing third. 2-1 count now for Chevalier as she takes low. Buddha winds, deals again, and off speed, and she fans on it. Chevalier with a 2-ball, 2-strike count. Hannah Hunt on deck, but 2 outs for the Falcons, who got bases loaded with 1 and are really trying to score in the second inning, given a good opportunity off of an error to lead off. 2-2 pitch, way up high from Buddha. She's got a full count. Now that might have been a setup pitch, and she's gonna try something here, maybe low and inside on an off speed after high and hard. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Payoff pitch from the Buckeyes, Buddha. This one lofted in the air, just deep second base, but it's going to be wrangled by Bowick, and that's going to be the inning. Bases loaded for the Falcons with 1 out, but they are not able to bring any runners home. Still 5-2 Ohio State, and the Buckeyes will try some offense in the bottom of the second. You're listening to Falcon Softball here on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Falcon Women's Golf heads down south to face Georgia State University at Rivermont Golf Club in Johns Creek, Georgia on Monday, March 30th and Tuesday, March 31st. Check out the recap of the event by Falcon Media Sports Network's Carter Leonard on bgfalconmedia.com, your home for all BGSU athletics news and updates.
Start your mornings right with The Morning Show on WBGU 88.1 FM, Northwest Ohio's community radio station. Join Clint Corp, a trusted voice in our community, weekdays from 6 to 9 a.m. for the latest local news, BGSU happenings, and all the events that matter to you. WBGU 88.1 FM, Northwest Ohio's community radio station. Your morning, your community, your voice.
What kind of help does the IRS have for identity theft victims?
If you suspect you're a victim of tax-related identity theft, go to irs.gov/identity theft to learn how to prevent potential refund fraud and protect your tax account. At the IRS, combating tax-related identity theft is a top priority, and we are committed to prevention, detection, and assisting victims. And we're working with law enforcement to catch the criminals. For more info, go to irs.gov/identity theft to learn what the IRS is doing to help protect you.
Check out bgfalconmedia.com for previews, recaps, photos, videos, and more of the Falcons.
5-2 Ohio State leads at home against Bowling Green softball. The Buckeyes lead off this bottom of the second inning with Hadley Parisian, Abby Wilhelm, and Sammy Bowick. Now all 3 of those batters walked in a row in the first inning. This one, line drive down the left field line, and it lands foul from Parisian, who walked. Advanced to second on a walk by Wilhelm, stole third, and ended up scoring on an error by Cam Kaufman at shortstop. That kept the bases loaded for an Emma Tolley grand slam in that first inning that got 4 of the 5 runs for the Buckeyes. Parisian takes middle inside, and a 1-2 count for her against Mackenzie Kraftzik. Kraftzik came in to bases loaded and no outs, trying to work out of the jam. Gave up the grand slam. Only that individual home run was an earned run. Everything else was unearned for her. 3 earned runs for Olivia Roth. Ball up high, a 2-2 count from Kraftzik, but also was able to strike out Estrada swinging, pop up Lottie Landmesser, and fly out Sarah Tarr, the 9-batter, and that's why we're leading off with the leadoff hitter, Hadley Parisian, in this bottom of the second. She takes outside, and it's a full count for the second time today for Falcon pitchers. The other full count was from Mackenzie Kraftzik. That was a ground ball to shortstop that Kaufman made an error on, her first error in 14 games. Payoff pitch, pop fly, way foul over the stands down the left field line. Kraftzik been very solid for the Falcons. The Falcon ace, technically a relief appearance today. up high of the waist. She delivers, and it's her first walk of the game and Parisian's second walk of the game. Wilhelm will come up with a runner on first, second time in 2 innings. Wilhelm, the shortstop, a transfer from Missouri after her freshman year in 2025. 14 games played, 5 starts, only a walk and her home run, or only 2 hits in her 19 at-bats last season with Missouri. She's been an impressive batter for Ohio State this season, hitting .375 in her 33 starts. Takes a strike at the waist. Back-to-back innings with leadoff runners on for the Falcons. Now ground ball, third base side. Addie Martin can't scoop it up, and it trickles into the outfield. Parisian's going to come from first to third on a ground ball to third base. And now the runners will be first and third with no outs. Another error for the left side of the infield. Great base running by Parisian to read the play. She was booking to second base to avoid a possible double play, but ended up rounding the bag and going to third off of a weird carom off of Martin into shallow center field. Kraftzik's first pitch to Sammy Bewick fouled out of play. So now we have first and third, still no outs for the Falcons in this inning. It is going to be ruled a fielding error by Addie Martin. Bewick takes again, and it's a ball outside. Home plate umpire Jose Travis, first base umpire Todrick Davis, and third base umpire Dylan Knipp. Travis called that most recent one outside. 1-1 pitch. Just missed the outside edge again, away from the right-handed swinging Bewick. 2-1 count. Bewick, another transfer. This one from Miami of Ohio after her freshman season at Miami of Ohio in 2024. This one a line drive in the gap, right center field. Going to drop down warning track. This will score at least one. Home comes Parisian, rounding and trying for home is Wilhelm. She'll be forced to go home because the runner was right behind her. She's caught in a pickle down the third base line. Wilhelm being chased back to third base, and she'll be tagged out. Sammy Bewick is going to get a double. She rounded hard at second base, nearly to third base when Wilhelm was just steps off of the third base bag. Wilhelm will be called out, technically going for home. She keeps Bewick alive, but the first out of the inning after a run across. Hadley Parisian comes in from third base on that double to the right center field gap. Taylor Cruz up with a runner in scoring position on second base. The Falcons with one out. Good pitch by Kraftzik. An off speed that caught the inside edge of the plate. Cruz grounded to Cam Kaufman in that first inning. That was the error, and ended up scoring a run in the grand slam. This one chopped down the third base line, and Addie Martin can't scoop it. Cruz, the left fielder, with her second baseman on second base, Bewick. Pretty decent speed, a single might score. Also worth noting, I've mentioned the wind blowing out, almost a dead center field. Gusts of up to 35 miles an hour, normally averaging about 32 generally. Also goes against the outfielders and their ability to throw to the infield. Ground ball, third base. Addie Martin makes the play, the first ground ball out of the game for either team. Seen a couple of errors by the Falcons on ground balls. They're now 1 for 3 on ground ball fielding chances. That'll hold the runner at second base. And Kiki Estrada will come up. She struck out swinging in the first. She got a runner in scoring position here and needs a knock for the best chance of getting her in. Estrada, Tolley, and Landmesser. Estrada low and away, somehow gets contact and fouls it off. Estrada, a transfer from South Carolina in 2024. An odd career path for her. transfer from South Carolina after the 2024 season. Didn't play last season due to injury. Didn't play in 2024 with South Carolina due to injury. Didn't play last season because she transferred in January of 2025, but couldn't play. It was too close to the season start, so she had to sit out on NCAA transfer portal rules. So missed 2 seasons due to an injury and a transfer. This is her first season really playing softball since almost high school. And now Michelle Gardner will walk out to the mound and talk to her senior starter, Mackenzie Kraftsick. 2-1 count for Kraftsick to Estrada, and something Gardner wanted to see. 1 mound visit per inning for each head coach. Kumar has only visited once. That was in the first to talk things over with Lauren Buda. This is the 3rd mound visit for Michelle Gardner. 2 in the first inning. 1 to talk with Olivia Roth. The other one to pull Olivia Roth after 3 straight walks to start the game. Now first in the 2nd inning. Michelle Gardner, the graduate from the University of Michigan, previous assistant coach with Bowling Green, and in her 2nd season as the head coach of the Falcons. Took over a team with only 6 wins, made it 16 last season. Looking for her 16th win today against the Buckeyes. Bowling Green hasn't beat the Buckeyes since before 2010. Don't know the exact day. It's not published. Estrada fouls the next pitch off. Right in the zone goes Kraftsick. Tends to happen after Michelle Gardner mound visits. Emma Tolley waits on deck. Had the grand slam in the first that gave Ohio State the lead, 5-2. 6-2 now Ohio State leads on a double in the gap by Sammy Bawick, who stands on second base now. Parisian came around to score. A full count now for Kraftsick. She's got a runner on second and 2 outs. Ground ball to third base, the most recent. Payoff pitch, fouled into the screen by Estrada. Only previous season of action at the college level was in 2023 for Kiki Estrada, the infielder designated hitting today. 6 games played, 6 at-bats, 4 strikeouts for Estrada in 2023 with South Carolina. Kraftsick missed the outside edge. Gardner wanted the call, staring down Jose Travis. That's not going to gain the call, and it's a walk to Estrada. Tolley back up at the plate. Already has 4 RBIs on her grand slam. One of them is her own. She's got 5 hits this season, including that home run in the first. 4 of those 5 hits are home runs, and that has brought her RBI total up to 8. It was previously up to 9. Sorry, it was previously 5 coming into today. Pops this one down the right field line. It's going to land foul. That was a lazy pop fly that ended up nearly at the warning track in the corner of the fences in foul right field territory. That's how much the wind is affecting the way this ball is flying. And it plays into the hands of Ohio State because they tend to launch the ball quite a bit. It's not rare for the wind to be blowing dead out to center for the Buckeyes. It is for the Falcons. Just missed inside. Again, Gardner wanted the call, and Travis didn't give it to him. 1-1 count to Tolley from Kraftsick. This one popped down the right field line as well. Can Massaro get under it? She cannot. It lands foul without a touch. That one just about 5 feet outside the right field foul pole that is painted white here in Ohio State. Massaro was tracking on it, made a good track on the ball, battling with the wind and the gray sky, but it falls off of the fence and down at her feet. A 1-2 count from Kraftsick to Tolley. Landmesser waiting on deck, 2 outs and a runner on first and second base. Kraftsick got a line drive out to left field. Simcoe misplays it, drops down in front of her. A run will come home to score. Bawick advancing to second is Estrada. We'll see what they rule it. Simcoe did have to dive for the ball and wasn't able to make the catch. And it's going to be listed as a hit, at least on the scoreboard here. Bowick with a good read on 2 outs, came all the way home to score. It's 7-2. Ohio State leads. Strada only advances 1 and a 1-2 single for Tolly. That's her second hit of the game and just her second of the season. That's not a home run. Kraftsick, second in the ERA and MAC play in the Mid-American Conference, 9th in batting average allowed, 4th in innings pitched, 3rd in walks. That is in MAC play, so none of the stats she has today will affect those standings. But still, this is one of the aces, one of the best pitchers in the Mid-American Conference. And MAC play or beyond. And Ohio State's put up 7. Deep drive, right field, off the bat of Landmesser, and it's gone. Second home run of the game for Ohio State. This one to right field, an opposite field home run from Lottie Landmesser. Just her second long ball of the season, and Ohio State leads 10-2. Two long balls in the game, a grand slam for 4 runs, and a 3-run shot just there by Landmesser. Skylar Limon will step up into the left-handed box. Flashes bunt, takes ball 1. 10-2, Ohio State leads, not yet through the second inning. Still 2 outs, no runners on. This one popped into the net. Landmesser hitting just .139 this season. 2 of her 5 hits coming into today were extra bases. 1 was a home run. This is her second home run of the season. Her 3rd extra base hit, just her 6th overall hit. Only 4 Buckeyes have hit into outs so far. We've had 5 outs recorded, and they already have 10 runs across. Kraftsick tries for the outside edge and didn't get it. Gardner, who is not liking the calls of the home plate umpire, now doesn't have much of an argument. It is a 10-2 game. Swing and a miss. That'll be strike 3 when they get the put out, and they do. Limon gets out on a strikeout and a put out to the first baseman. The Falcons out of the inning, but they allow 5 runs. Back-to-back innings of 5 runs allowed for Bowling Green to Ohio State. The Buckeyes will go out to the mound with a brand new pitcher that we'll discuss in a minute. You're listening to Falcon Softball on WBGU 88.1 FM.
You are listening to Falcon Media Sports Network coverage on WBGU 88.1 FM in Bowling Green, Ohio.
Falcon Media Sports Network produces weekly short-form and long-form social media pieces for in-season sports all year long. Make sure to check out at BG_FMSN on Twitter/X and at BG Falcon Media on Instagram and Facebook to view the content.
This is your captain. We are going to be experiencing some slight turbulence. Please fasten your... Oh, hold on. Just got a video of my cat.
Imagine the pilot of an airplane was as confident as you are texting and driving. Seems kind of crazy when you put it like that.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Wake up every weekday with WBGU and The Morning Show. The Morning Show is a community resource for weekly events, news, sports, weather, interviews with community officials and organizations, birthday and anniversary announcements, and more. The Morning Show broadcasts live, Monday through Friday, from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. Listen live every weekday from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. locally on 88.1 FM or streaming online at bgfalconmedia.com.
After this game wraps up, more coverage continues online at bgfalconmedia.com.
Hannah Hunt takes ball one, a brand new pitcher for Ohio State. That's Kennedy Kay. She's only made 13 appearances this season. She's relieving Lauren Buda, who we can close the book on her. 2 innings pitched, 2 earned runs on 2 hits, 4 strikeouts, 2 walks, 3 hit by pitch, 14 batters faced, and she leaves the game the pitcher of record for the win. Hunt takes another one outside, and it's a 3-0 count for Hannah Hunt from Kay. Kennedy Kay, her 13 appearances, 6 of them starts. That means 7 of them relief appearances, and a 6.85 ERA. Not the best mark for her, but again, in a 10-2 game, like it was for Buda getting the start, this is an opportunity to learn and to improve for these Ohio State pitchers. An 8-run buffer, 10-2, the Buckeyes lead the Falcons, 5 runs in each of the first 2 innings. Up and away, Hunt walks down to first base. That's the 3rd walk of the game for Buckeye pitchers. 3 hit by pitches as well for Buckeye pitchers, all 3. Buda, as well as 2 of those walks. Addie Martin with an 8-run deficit, and Hannah Hunt on first base. Martin struck out swinging in the first inning. Shows bunt, pulls back. They don't check to see if she went around, and it's going to be ball 1. Izzy Ray, Hannah Massaro on deck and in the hole for the Falcons. Bowling Green with 2 runs in the first. A double by Steffes, scored on a single. Then a bases-loaded walk for Hannah Hunt, scored Taylor Barrett, the only 2 runs of the game. Shows bunt again, and again pulls back, and again it's a ball. Addie Martin with a 2-0 count. Now this is a damage count for Addie Martin, who's been coached by the Falcons staff to swing a little bit less, and by that I mean don't be too big. She is very small in that instance, bunts it down on the left-hand batter's box, and it's going to be a foul ball. Michelle Gardner and the Falcons still sticking to their identity of small ball, even down 8. Still trying to improve on their play. This doesn't matter for conference play at all. Falcons have a series against Kent State coming up this weekend in Kent State. Above the waist goes that ball, and again back to a hitting count for Addie Martin. She didn't show bunt on that pitch, so we'll see if she does here. Not swinging too big has been a big theme for Addie Martin this season from the coaching staff, a challenge to her. 3-1 pitch from Kay, left low, and Addie Martin walked. Runners on first and second for the Falcons, no outs yet. Addie Martin has not walked since March 7th against Charleston Southern. She had 2 walks in that game, also went 2 for 2. If you look through her stats, the games that she was hitting well, she also had long at-bats or walks. She's being patient, sitting on her pitch, but hasn't done that recently, and that's why she's been less successful than she was last season and less successful than she was at parts this season as well. She stands on first base. On second base is Hannah Hunt. Izzy Ray up at the dish for the Falcons, the rookie for Bowling Green. 2 starts at Western Michigan, 1 for 2 with the sacrifice hit and a caught stolen base on the Friday game, and 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts in the first game on Saturday. This one a line drive out into center field. Catch made. Try for the double-up play from the center fielder to second base. That was Skylar Limon that made a very nice catch And a nice throw to try and grab Hannah Hunt off of second. There'll be a line out for Izzy Ray, bringing up Hannah Massaro with 2 on and 1 out. Massaro reached on an error. What is essentially a fly out to right field. Hit the palm of Parisian and dropped in. First error of her season for the junior. Massaro takes low for ball 1, second delivery for Kennedy Kay. Checked her swing but went way around. Massaro started the first 8 games of the season, has started only 9 of the last 21. This is now 10 of the last 21 with the start today. Up and away, she lets the ball go. It's 2-1. The 9 spot for the Falcons has been, well, the 8 and the 9 have been in and out with certain players. 2-1 pitch coming here from Kennedy Kay, and off-speed dropped in at the waist. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Massaro with 1 out and 2 on. Been kind of a rotation for the Falcons. Katie Hutter has worked in, Izzy Ray. Quinn Reeves, a couple of at-bats. Kendall Matthews as well, one of the big ones. Ava McKee with some at-bats for Bowling Green. Swing and a miss on a ball that bounced about 3 feet in front of home plate. Massaro will go to the bench on a brutal swing and a miss on a pitch that was not even close, and now the leadoff batter up for the Falcons. 3rd straight inning she'll hit in the first 2 she struck out swinging on less than 4 pitches in each of those 2 at-bats. Brand new pitcher for her though, Kennedy Kay, working against Hannah Simcoe. Outside, ball 1 from Simcoe. Doesn't draw a lot of walks, would say that she doesn't strike out a lot. Coming into today, 4 strikeouts. This is number 5 and 6 in the first 2 innings against Ohio State. Buckeyes lead 10-2. Gets a lot of base hits though. Puts the ball in play almost every time. Up and away from Simcoe. And now a hitter's count for her. Steffes and Barrett to follow, but 2 outs. Lead off 2 runners on, back-to-back walks. Hannah Hunt and Addie Martin. Kay has settled in a bit. She got a line drive to center field on the first pitch to Izzy Ray. And then Massaro on 5 pitches struck her out swinging. Kay, a bigger framed pitcher, throws pretty hard. Gets a strike there, 2-1. These 2 pitchers for Ohio State that we've seen today, pitchers that the coaching staff really needs to get active. Here's a slap out into center field by Simcoe. Hannah Hunt, the brakes are put on at third base, and a smart decision by Michelle Gardner. That saved an out. Tolley had the ball before Hannah Hunt probably would have got to where the pitcher's mound would be. That's a single to center field from Simcoe. Falcons have a hit here in the 3rd inning. They did not have a hit in the 2nd. They had 2 hits and 2 runs in the 1st. Peyton Steffes has reached twice, a walk and a double in the 1st. Walk in the 2nd, a double in the 1st, I should say. Steffes from the left-hand side of the batter's box. Still Addie Martin on second base. Hannah Hunt on third base. Hannah Simcoe on first base. Peyton Steffes with the bases loaded. Just outside. If there's someone in the Falcon order that you can trust to swing more freely, it's Peyton Steffes. She's been the best hitter for the Falcons in Mid-American Conference play. Almost undoubtedly, she has. Now getting on base, Cam Kaufman would have something to say about that statement, but Peyton Steffes has been solid. She's worked her way up from 9th in the order to 3rd, the first game against Buffalo, and 2nd each of the next 2 games, and then today, 2nd in the order again behind Simcoe, and a very quick 1-2 punch. Catches the outside edge on the 2-ball, 1-strike count, and it's 2-2 for Steffes. Hit that double in the 1st, scored a run. did Peyton Steffes. No extra base hits till MAC play. Every extra base hit she has this season has been since. Swing and a miss. Strike 3, swing into Peyton Steffes with the bases loaded. The Falcons have left runners on, at least 2 of them, in back-to-back-to-back innings, and they still trail by 8 going into the bottom of the 3rd inning. 10-2, Ohio State leads BG softball here on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Every 2 minutes, an American is sexually assaulted. Be the someone who gives their time. Be the someone who lends an ear. Be the someone who takes a step. This is Christina Ricci with RAIN, asking you to join the fight against sexual violence and volunteer in your community. Log on to rain.org, that's RAINN.org, to learn how you can be the someone.
This message brought to you by the Rape, Abuse, and Incest National Network and this station.
Kids ask their parents a lot of questions.
Why can't people fly?
Gravity.
Is the moon really made of cheese?
Yep, cream cheese.
When can I move into a big kid's car seat?
For some questions, parents may not have the answer, but that's okay. They can't know everything, but knowing the right seat for their age and size will help protect them in a car crash. Find out more at nhtsa.gov/therightseat.
Where do babies come from?
Good luck, Dad. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
How serious is youth vaping? Irreversible lung damage serious. 1 in 10 kids vape serious, which warrants a serious conversation from a serious parental figure like yourself. Not the seriously know-it-all sports dad or the seriously smart podcaster. It requires a serious conversation that is best had by you. No, seriously, the best person to talk to your child about vaping is you. To start the conversation, visit talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
Check out more Falcon athletic coverage online at bgfalconmedia.com.
Sarah Tarr, Ohio State's first baseman, has an at-bat here in the 3rd inning. Had an at-bat in the 1st inning and flew out to right field to end what was a big first for Ohio State. 5 runs in that inning on 2 hits. A big inning in the 2nd as well. 5 runs on 3 hits in that 2nd inning. She leads off the 3rd. A 2-0 count for her from Mackenzie Kraftzik, who still works for the Falcons. Bowling Green's trailing 8, 10-2. The Buckeyes lead. They have 3 more hits than Bowling Green. Same amount of errors for both teams. There's a called strike. Kraftzik got up and away, but caught the belt. Sarah Tarr, 1 hit in 11 starts. Beginning of the season. 19 at-bats down that stretch. On base only 4 times. Here's a long drive out into left center field. Over the fence. The 3rd home run of the game for Ohio State. They know the wind's blowing, and they're taking advantage. That's a solo shot for the Buckeyes, and they take an 11-2 lead now. Had a grand slam. We've had a 3-run shot. Now we've had a solo shot from Ohio State. Just 1 away from the home run cycle. And at this pace, it's pretty good chance that it happens. Low and away from Mackenzie Kraftzik. All 3 home runs given up by her. And she's accepted quite a bit of earned runs. 8 of them, to be exact. Olivia Roth, who didn't record an out, accepted 3. Kraftzik had 3 straight losses, but 3 straight games allowing 3 runs or less. 1 innings pitched and 2 earned runs versus Central Michigan. 13 innings pitched and 4 earned runs in her last 2 starts. Here's a pop fly down the 3rd base line, but foul. It'll be a 1-2 count to the leadoff hitter, Hadley Parisian. Abby Wilhelm waiting on deck. Sammy Bawick in the hole, and they'll all be guaranteed at bats as we still don't have an out in the bottom of the 3rd inning. But Kraftzik has been solid for the Falcons. Certainly the ace for Bowling Green. She was put into a bad situation in the 1st. Wasn't able to get out of it unscathed. But with a couple of walks in the 2nd and a home run, brought it to 10 runs for Ohio State, and now that home run makes it 11 for the Buckeyes. Still none since the first inning for the Falcons. Again, fouled out of play by Parisian. She reached base each game against Michigan State last weekend. 3 games. She had 2 hits and a home run in game 1, a walk and a run in all 3 games that she played. This one fouled off. A nice pitch by Kraftsick got Parisian to chase, and she stays alive just with the cap of her bat. Falcons playing straight up in the field. This one, fly ball, left field, deep, over and gone. Number 4 and back-to-back for Ohio State. Hadley Parisian, her 12th home run of the season, and Ohio State is just crushing the softball today. 3 plate appearances and 3 innings for the junior right fielder, Parisian. She's scored all 3 times. She's got a hit and 2 walks. And a new pitcher in the game for the Falcons. Morgan Beckham will step out to the mound, take a quick break. You're listening to Falcon Softball on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Falcon Media Sports Network writes and publishes over 1,000 stories per year, including game previews, recaps, sidebars, opinion pieces, feature stories, and more. Head over to bgfalconmedia.com to view all of our content for every sport throughout the year.
What kind of help does the IRS have for identity theft victims?
If you suspect you're a victim of tax-related identity theft, go to irs.gov/identity theft to learn how to prevent potential refund fraud and protect your tax account. At the IRS, combating tax-related identity theft is a top priority, and we are committed to prevention, detection, and assisting victims. And we're working with law enforcement to catch the criminals. For more info, go to irs.gov/identity theft to learn what the IRS is doing to help protect you.
My daughter was diagnosed with a rare malignant rhabdoid tumor on the spine. They sent her straight to St. Jude. My hope was gone. But when you get there, everyone's like, hey, we're not gonna give up. And when you see other people not giving up on your child, that makes all the difference in the world. When I found out I didn't have to pay, I was just grateful. They saved my baby's life.
Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Check out more Falcon athletic coverage on X at BG_FMSN.
Back here at Buckeye Field, Morgan Beckham now on the mound for the Falcons, working against the right-handed hitter, Abby Wilhelm. This is a deep fly ball out into center field, playable for Peyton Steffes, and she makes the catch. Any ball in the air in the outfield, dangerous. We've seen back-to-back home runs. That was Sarah Tarr, the 9-hitter, and Hadley Parisian, the 3-hitter. 4 home runs in this game by Ohio State, all allowed by Mackenzie Kraftsick. 70 home runs this season for the Buckeyes. That's second in the Big Ten, just behind UCLA. And UCLA, one of the best teams in the conference, a 10-2 conference record and a 29-5 overall record. One of the best teams in the nation. And Ohio State just behind them in the home run mark. Sammy Bawick with a 1-1 count. 1 out, no runners on here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Beckham delivers. This one hammered. Left field line, tracking. Nice catch, Simcoe, in toward the foul line corner. A nice play on a ball that was likely carried by the wind. Great play by Hannah Simcoe. She gets a point from Morgan Beckham. 4 pitches, 2 outs for Beckham. Looked solid to the middle of the order. Taylor Cruz reached on an error in the first inning, grounded out to Addie Martin in the second inning. She's the only player in the lineup to be 0 for. A 1 pitch. Just missed the waist. Kiki Estrada waiting on deck, but 2 outs, back-to-back outs for Morgan Beckham. This one slapped left field line, just landed foul, about 2 feet. 12-2, Ohio State leads. They've been ahead of most of the Falcon pitchers today. Beckham's looked the best by a bit. She's the only one that has been able to get back-to-back outs, and we're through 2 complete and 2 different pitchers. This number 3 is Morgan Beckham. Up high, about chin height, to Taylor Cruz. And it's a 2-2 count. The 2-2 pitch. Ripped foul again. Very much pulled. .97 ERA last season for Morgan Beckham. She's done a very nice job at lowering that ERA once MAC play started. Statistically, the best ERA in Mid-American Conference play in the MAC. .40 her ERA and MAC play. Now that will stay the same after this game, so she'll likely hold on to her title. Full count from Beckham. Hammered again, but way foul. Taylor Cruz has turned on a couple in this at-bat, some very hard-hit balls. And you can tell Ohio State, who elevates the ball a lot, is continuing to do that. They're looking for the long ball, and they found 4 of them today and a couple of very deep flyouts. Another payoff pitch. This one, high fly ball out left center field. Steph is under it, will make the catch. 3 straight outs for Morgan Beckham coming into the inning as relief, but 2 runs across on 2 home runs, the 9-hitter and the 1-hitter for Ohio State. Through 3 complete, 12-2. Ohio State leads. 4th inning coming up. BG softball here on WBGU 88.1 FM.
On November 1st, 2024, BGSU men's soccer defeated nationally ranked Western Michigan for the first time in a decade. Falcon Media Sports Network's Lucas Kleinmeyer was on the call on the WBGU PBS YouTube channel.
History has been made here at Cocker Stadium for the first time in 37 regular season matches for the Western Michigan Broncos, and for the first time in a decade, the Bowling Green Falcons take down the Western Michigan Broncos by a final score of 3-0 here at Cocker Stadium. Wow!
This has been a Falcon Media Sports Network featured call.
Falcon Media Sports Network produces weekly short-form and long-form social media pieces for in-season sports all year long. Make sure to check out at BG_FMSN on Twitter/X and at BG Falcon Media on Instagram and Facebook to view the content.
You are listening to Falcon Media Sports Network coverage live on 88.1 FM and streaming on bgfalconmedia.com.
Off-speed caught the belt of Taylor Barrett leading off the 4th inning for the Falcons. Top of the 4th. Falcons trailing by 10, 12-2. Ohio State leads. Back-to-back innings of 5 runs scored and then 2 in the most recent half inning for the Buckeyes. The Falcons scored 2 in the first and have been held scoreless in 2 innings since. Kennedy Kay back on the mound for the Scarlet and Gray delivers a ball low and a 1-1 count to Barrett. Barrett walked in the first, was hit by a pitch in the second, no at-bat in the third. Or no plate appearance, I should say. So She got a 1-1 count, looking for her first hit of the game. Just outside, she took, and a 2-1 count. She's got something on the line here, and maybe will not get another at-bat in this game. 12 games started in a row that she's had a hit. This counts as a game started. She got the ground ball up the middle. Grabbed by Wilhelm. She could not make the play. Went to go for the throw and dropped it, and this will come down to a scorer's decision. But Barrett standing on first base. This is the third inning in a row that the Falcons have the leadoff batter on. Now they've left. The bases loaded, exiting the inning. All 3 innings that they've played complete. It's going to be listed as an error by Abby Wilhelm. A pretty true fielding shortstop is Wilhelm, but Barrett will reach on the air. Cam Kaufman takes ball 1. Ashley Chevalier, Hannah Hunt to follow Cam. 1-0 pitch, sliced out of play. Kaufman was hit by a pitch in the first, struck out looking in the second. Didn't agree with the call by the home plate umpire. Michelle Gardner wasn't happy with it either and talked to the umpire about it after the half inning, but she was still rung up. Still a strikeout to Cam. Up at the waist, just above it, and a ball. Another pitch from Kennedy Kay. She got 3 outs in the last 4 batters of the third inning after walking the first 2. And should have probably got a ground ball out, the leadoff batter of this inning. Although Barrett was able to get on. A high chopper past Wilhelm at shortstop, and it'll end up in left field. A single for Cam Kaufman will advance Taylor Barrett to second base. That's the first hit for the Falcons since Hannah Simcoe in the third inning. Ashley Chevalier up now with 2 runners on and no outs. One of those runners in scoring position. That's Taylor Barrett on second base. Chevalier singled in the first to knock in a run, then popped out. She's had some pretty confident at-bats today and recently as well. Pretty solid against Buffalo with Chevalier. 3 for 8 with 3 RBIs. A sacrifice fly and a sacrifice hit versus Buffalo. 5 hits in her last 4 games. Only 6 hits in her last 14 starts, though. So this is definitely her best stretch of the recent season. Called strike. An 0-2 count on Chevalier. A foul ball and a called in the box. So no 2 count, 2 runners on. No outs in the top of the 4th inning. Falcons with their bats trying to limit the 10-run lead for Ohio State. Checked swing, didn't go around. Emma Tolley liked the pitch, the catcher for Ohio State, liked the spot, but it just missed. And no damage done. Still a 1-2 count, still way in favor of Kennedy Kay. Chevalier lets it go again, and it's just inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Still in the hands of Kay, but still at risk of adding another walk to her day. She's got 2 walks, 2 strikeouts so far, 2 runners on. Ground ball, third base, picked up, and there's a putout. Landmesser with the play at third, over to Sarah Tarr at first. The runners will advance, though. Landmesser was too many steps in front of third to backtrack and get to the bag before Barrett. And with the 10-run lead, Y-Force getting the lead runner. So Chevalier out, although she advanced the runners. Hannah Hunt up to the plate. Flashes bunt, bunts it into her own dugout. And that's obviously foul. Would say a good scoring opportunity for the Falcons, but they've left 3 runners on base the last 3 innings. They were able to walk a run home, single a run in with runners on every bag, but that's the only time in this game that they've been able to capitalize on a bases-loaded opportunity, or at least with runners in scoring position. Hannah Hunt at the dish. 1-1 count from Kay. She winds, delivers. Fly ball out left field. This is deep. Ranging back, Limon. It's going to drop on the warning track. Barrett's going to come in to score. Trailing her is Kaufman. Rounding second, coming to third, Hannah Hunt. And a bases clearing triple for the senior. Falcons get 2 runs back there. A triple for Hannah Hunt. Her hot streak continues as she was burning around second base and got in to third base standing up. Kennedy Kay lets up 2. And the Falcons trail 12-4. Now we are at the time as well. 8 runs, a lead for either team after 5 innings, and that's a run rule. The trailing team does get an at-bat in that inning. So Ohio State, if they run rule, will not have to bat in the bottom of the 5th inning, but the Falcons are at the 8-run marker right now. So to avoid that run rule and to make sure they get to play 7 innings, they need to keep it 7 runs or less. And of course, you'd like to add more and bring this game within a competitive distance. Here's a single into right field, scores a run. Addie Martin with that rip brings Hannah Hunt home. The Falcons with 3 runs in this inning. A confident hit for Addie Martin. Had an outside pitch and took it to the opposite field, right past the first baseman, out of reach. And a line drive hit. Addie Martin, quite speedy on first base, has a propensity to steal. Ohio State's infielders a little bit off of the second base bag. Izzy Ray at the dish, flashes bunt. Looks like Addie Martin was running, but it's fouled off by Ray. Izzy Ray up now, Hannah Massaro in the hole, just 1 out. A ground ball by Ashley Chevalier. The only out of the inning gained by Kennedy Kay. Buckeyes do have games this coming weekend against Minnesota, so they have to worry somewhat about their pitchers. Here's a changeup that catches the outside corner. A nice pitch, and Izzy Ray is in an 0-2 count. Minnesota, not one of the best teams in the Big Ten for Ohio State, so pitching not a real concern, or at least wins not a real concern, but you still don't want to burn up your pen in a game that you're winning by 8 runs. Just outside, Ray sees the first ball go by, and it's 1-2. And the Falcons, who have 4 pitchers on their staff, 5 pitchers on their staff. Ohio State has only 4. 2 big starters, Jenna Malk, who is one of the best pitchers in the Big Ten. Here's a tag. Out at first base is Izzy Ray, and a double play for Ohio State. Ground ball to second ends the inning, a double play for the Buckeyes. Bowling Green gets a couple of runs past, and it's 12-5. Bowling Green outside of run rule distance. Ohio State grabs the bats in the bottom of the 4th. They haven't been held scoreless in an inning yet. Beckham to work. You're listening to Falcon Softball here on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Falcon Women's Golf heads down south to face Georgia State University at Rivermont Golf Club in Johns Creek, Georgia on Monday, March 30th and Tuesday, March 31st. Check out the recap of the event by Falcon Media Sports Network's Carter Leonard on bgfalconmedia.com, your home for all BGSU athletics news and updates.
Millions of people all over the world go hungry, while we waste our land and water resources. Did you know that raising animals for human consumption uses 8 times as much water as growing fruits, vegetables, and grains? And that the same amount of land can produce 17 times more soybean protein than meat protein? For great vegetarian recipes, write People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals. That's PETA, Norfolk, Virginia, 23510. Thanks.
Check out more Falcon athletic coverage online at bgfalconmedia.com.
Morgan Beckham back on the mound for the Falcons. She's had the best success of any pitcher today, really, whether it's Bowling Green or Ohio State. The Buckeyes have given up 5 runs. The Falcons have given up 12 to the Buckeyes. Morgan Beckham came in with no outs in the 3rd inning after back-to-back home runs and recorded 3 straight outs in the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th batter for Ohio State. She gets a first pitch strike to Kiki Estrada, the 5th batter for the Buckeyes. Emma Tolley, who had the grand slam in the 1st, will come up after that, and then Lottie Landmesser, who had a home run in the 2nd, to come up after that. Every player in this game has scored a run, at least for Ohio State, besides Skylar Lamone. She'll bat 4th this inning if it gets down to her. Here's a slap hit to shortstop. Cam Kaufman gets the speedy Kiki Estrada out at first base. A nice play by Cam Kaufman. Still trying to remedy that error that she made in the 1st inning that may have cost the Falcons runs. That did cost the Falcons a run, likely because there was a runner on 3rd when it happened, but also set up Emma Tolley's grand slam. Tolley here with a fly ball, center field. Steph is tracking, feet on the warning track, makes the catch. 1 pitch, 1 out for Morgan Beckham in that at-bat, and 2 pitches, 1 out in the first at-bat of this inning from Kiki Estrada. Now Landmesser comes up with that home run in the 2nd. 5 straight outs gained by Morgan Beckham. That's the most in a row for any pitcher today. She delivers up high. Infield straight up, outfield the same to Landmesser, the right-handed batter, and Beckham misses again, and it's a 2-0 count. Morgan Beckham wearing 29 for the Falcons, just 5'5", not huge, but throws quite hard. Here's a pop fly foul. Doesn't look like she'd be able to throw as hard as she does, but she's a nice switch up from the Falcons that otherwise are pretty crafty. Mackenzie Kratzik does not blow anybody away with her speed generally. Madison Wendell the same, more contact pitchers. Olivia Roth has the potential, but today couldn't find the zone, and that's been an issue in her career. 3-1 count now from Beckham to Landmesser. But Morgan Beckham has a good blend of being able to hit the zone, also throwing pretty hard and having some good off-speed that she utilized very well last season. Check swing by Landmesser, didn't go around, the pitch just inside, and Beckham will allow her first base runner in her appearance on the 6th plate appearance. Skylar Lamone due up right now after we're done with the break. Landmesser has stolen a base this season, just 1. Just a couple of stolen bases around the order besides Lamone at the plate, who has 5. She's 5 for 5. Check swing. Didn't go around. And it's going to be a ball low and away. (12-5) Ohio State leads. Next delivery. Beckham is up high. And a 2-0 count. She's fallen behind in the last 2 at-bats after just 3 pitches to get the first 2 outs. 7 innings pitched, 8 hits, 0 earned runs at Western Michigan. The only W the Falcons had in 3 games, allowing less than 4 runs across those 3. So here's a tap foul for the first strike of this at-bat. But a career high in innings pitched that game for Morgan Beckham. In her first complete game since April 14th, 2025 against Ohio. That was 6 innings pitched in a complete game win at home for the Falcons. Bunt up to Chevalier right off the plate. Chev grabs it out of the air, and it's going to be 2 strikes. So now ahead of the count is Beckham. Beckham's been impressive. She is statistically the best pitcher in the Mid-American Conference. .40 ERA. Mackenzie Kratzik a 2 ERA. 2 of the top 5 pitchers in the MAC play. Here's a fly ball out left field. Simcoe thought about laying out for it, but decides to let it drop in front of her and hold the runner to second base. Landmesser advanced to second, and Skylar Lamone with her second hit of the game. So 2 outs, 2 runners on in the bottom of the 4th inning. Ohio State has scored in all 3 innings so far. 5 runs in the first, 5 in the second, 2 on 2 home runs in the 3rd. Now in the 4th, Beckham got herself into a jam, now has to work out. Last hitter in the lineup, Sarah Tarr, homered in her most recent at-bat in the 3rd inning. Part of those back-to-back homers, and 4 total for Ohio State today. 1 home run away from a season high in that category. Back pick from Chevalier sees Lamone back to the back. 5 home runs hit against Indiana State. That's the record of the season for Ohio State. This one drilled left field, deep, gone! Off of the building, past the left field fence. Her 2nd home run of the game. Sarah Tarr with her first double-digit home run game in her career. Just a freshman. 4 home runs this season. And Ohio State has a 15-5 lead. A home run, back-to-back innings for the 9-hole hitting first baseman. Decent power, not a lot of contact, but has made contact with 2 deep balls today. A 3-run shot and a solo shot. Next pitch called strike. Top of the order now, back around Hadley Parisian. She has reached base all 4 times. Now here's a deep fly ball center field. Parisian goes yard. Back to back. Ohio State hits home runs. And now it's 16-5. The Buckeyes lead. Just the 2nd pitch of that at bat. 3 pitches in a row, 2 home runs allowed. And then Gardner's going to go to her 4th pitcher of the game. Roth started, didn't get an out. Kraftsik got 2 innings of work in, but gave up 8 earned. Morgan Beckham fell apart in the last couple of batters in this inning. Beckham will earn 4 earned runs in an inning and 2/3 of work after getting 5 straight outs, the longest stretch of the game for either team. Kraftsik with the 2 innings and 9 earned runs. Roth with the no innings and 3 earned runs, and now Madison Wendell will trot out to the circle for the 4th pitcher of 5 on the staff for the Falcons. You're listening to Falcon Softball here on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Wake up and get going with the music you know and love. Early Bird Oldies broadcasts weekdays from 4 to 6 a.m. and plays all the tunes you remember. Find WBGU on the bottom of the dial at 88.1 FM or streaming worldwide on bgfalconmedia.com. Early Bird Oldies will put a smile on your face and make you tap your feet. And it's only on WBGU, Northwest Ohio's community radio station.
Unlike other local sources, Falcon Media Sports Network and BG Falcon Media will never charge a paywall to view our content. However, if you are looking to support student media, you can donate at the bottom of our stories on bgfalconmedia.com.
I always had to be so good, no one could ignore me. Carve my path with data and drive. But some people only see who I am on paper. The paper ceiling. The limitations from degree screens to stereotypes that are holding back over 70 million stars. Workers skilled through alternative routes, rather than a bachelor's degree. It's time for skills to speak for themselves. Find resources for breaking through barriers at tearthepaperceiling.org. Brought to you by Opportunity at Work and the Ad Council.
Check out bgfalconmedia.com for previews, recaps, photos, videos, and more of the Falcons.
1-1 count from Madison Wendell to Abby Wilhelm, the shortstop. She's reached base once today. That was a walk in the first inning and scored. She was the first run across on a grand slam from Emma Tolley, the catcher, batting sixth. She just plays pretty solid shortstop, does Abby Wilhelm. She's made an error today, benefited from an error as well offensively. 2-1 count. She fouls it out of play for 2-2. Madison Wendell in the circle for the Falcons now. Only max start, 7 innings, 12 hits, 3 earned runs, 7 runs total given up, but 4 of them unearned, lost 7-4, and that game was against Central Michigan. She hasn't made a start otherwise and only has another relief appearances. She allows a lot of hits, she allows a lot of contact, but a lot of it's soft. Got a full count. Ground ball, left side. Kaufman can't scoop it. It was right in the gap. She made a good play to get over to the ball and just knocked it down. Likely be a single for Abby Wilhelm. And as I just said, soft contact, but right at the gap. That's a lot of the times how her hits end up. That's the first hit of the game for Abby Wilhelm. Now Sammy Bewick, who was due up. It'll be a pinch hit for Tanya Barrett. Or Tanya Barrett, I should say. Barrett in the left-handed batter's box. Lifts this one out in the air, right field. It's going to drop in as a single for Barrett. She'll get on, hold the runner at second base with a nice throw in by Hannah Massaro. But a pinch hit single on the first pitch seen by Tanya Barrett, and the inning continues. Barrett just has 6 at-bats this season. That's her first hit of the season. Just a sophomore. Played in 35 games, only 5 starts last season. Hit .261 and below a 700 OPS. And another new batter in the game for Ohio State, who's emptying out the bench just a bit. The 2 hits initially gained by the Falcons in this inning. Right away, a walk, a single, a home run, another home run, a single, and now another single. We have first and second, 2 outs, and a chain being put together for Ohio State. Here's a drive up the middle and a single to center field. Steffes stops it. The run will come home to score, and another runner will advance to third base. Tanya Barrett goes first at third. Wilhelm goes second to home, and it's a hit for Kalia Ricks. 23 at-bats this season for Kalia Ricks. Ground ball, left side, Addie Martin knocks it down, over to Cam Kaufman, can't make a play. The Falcon infield failing as well. Here's another run in. That was Barrett that scored from third base on that. We'll see what the ruling is. Ricks advances to second, and we bat it around. It's Izzy Neal with that single. Scorecards being filled up. Izzy Neal has started 21 games this season. That's her 18th hit. She's hitting .340. Just didn't get the start today, but has granted the start Kiki Estrada, the designated player today. Normally starts as well, but difference in at-bats around the field. Runners on first and second. 6 runs scored this inning. Reese Cullen will step to the plate. Another pinch hitter. Cullen, a catcher that'll come in for Emma Tolley, likely to catch. just a freshman is Reese Cullen. Only 16 at-bats this season and has only 3 hits. Couple of extra base hits, though. All 3 of them, actually. 1 home run. She's got 2 runners on and 2 outs. 18-5, Ohio State leads. 6 runs here in the bottom of the 4th. And again, a good start by Morgan Beckham to this inning. Got 2 straight outs and then fell apart a bit. Ended up with 4 earned runs on a walk, a single, a home run, and then another home run. She was pulled from Madison Wendell, who has manned the last 5 batters, including Reese Cullen. Four pinch hitters in a row for Ohio State. There's a strike from Wendell on a 3-1 count. Ohio State really emptying their bench in a game that there's no guaranteed wins, but they're more guaranteed now than they've probably been in a while. Fouled off of the net. And it's a 3-2 count from Wendell. That really needs an out here. Falcon bats ready to go in the top of the 5th. If they do not score at least 6, they will be run ruled in that top of the 5th inning. 8 after 5 is the rule there in the NCAA softball. Full count, ground ball, third base side, and it's ruled foul. That was certainly close. Looked to me like it hopped over the bag, but ruled foul by the umpire, who you hope they make the right call, but maybe just trying to give the Falcons a chance. That would have likely cleared 2 off the bags. Runners at first and second now. Ricks at second. Izzy Neal at first. Here's a single up the middle. Actually, it's caught by Steffes. Looked like it was going to drop in, but the wind held it up. It's going to be a line drive to the center fielder to end the inning, but Ohio State with 6 runs in that bottom of the 4th inning. They lead 18-5 after 4 complete innings of play. The Falcons need at least 6 to keep the game going and try and go for 7 innings complete. You're listening to Falcon Softball here on WBGU 88.1 FM.
This is Northwest Ohio's community radio station, WBGU 88.1 FM. Like, follow, and subscribe to our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter feeds for access to special content, program and DJ information, and so much more. Return to radio freedom with WBGU on 88.1 FM and online social media profiles. Thanks for listening to WBGU Bowling Green, Northwest Ohio's community radio station.
Many Americans have missed regular dental care in the past few years. It's important to see a dentist twice a year to identify any problems early. Taking care of your oral health helps overall health. Brushing at least twice a day with fluoride toothpaste and flossing daily can help prevent oral health problems. For more information, visit hrsa.gov/oral-health.
You are listening to Falcon Media Sports Network coverage on WBGU 88.1 FM in Bowling Green, Ohio.
For all BGSU sports news and updates, follow Falcon Media Sports Network on Twitter X at BG_FMSN and head over to BGFalconMedia.com.
Check out BGFalconMedia.com for previews, recaps, photos, videos, and more of the Falcons.
Back here at Buckeye Field in Columbus, Ohio, the Ohio State softball team has an 18-5 lead over Bowling Green. Second pitch, a ball to Hannah Massaro. Winding another deal up high. Falcons with 18 runs given up. I did not have enough time to look through and see the last time that the Falcons gave up that many runs in a game. We'll have that before the end of today's game, and a 4-pitch walk to Massaro, who will take first base. Back up at the top of the order, it's Hannah Simcoe, the freshman. She got a hit her last time up at the plate. That was in the 3rd inning. We're in the top of the 5th now. Falcons need to score at least 7 to avoid the run rule. The rule is 8 after 5 in NCAA softball. Sorry, they need 6 to be able to avoid that run rule. Up high on an off speed. A 2-0 count. Simcoe struck out her first 2 at-bats, singled in her 3rd. Those were in the first 3 innings. 4th inning didn't get an at-bat. The Falcons scored 3 runs in that 4th, though. Productive for them, 3 runs on 2 hits. No runners left on base. This one up high. Now we get a mound visit from what is a prestigious coaching staff. Kieran Kumar, head coach, 2nd season. 2-time MAC Coach of the Year in her 4 seasons with Miami of Ohio. 3 40-win seasons, 4 regular season championships, 3 tournament championships in the Mid-American Conference. Made it to NCAA Regional 4 straight with Miami. And then last season, her first season with Ohio State, also made the NCAA Regional. She's done nothing but make that game in the last 5 seasons. In every season she's been a head coach. 75.6% win percentage in those 5 seasons. An assistant at a bunch of different stops before her stop here at Miami. Her assistant's pretty high profile as well. There's another ball and another walk. 2 runners on for the Falcons with no outs. One of the most recent names, Carly Spade, her first season as an assistant coach, was a graduate assistant at Tennessee in 2025, was a graduate from Miami of Ohio in 2024. 4 seasons she played under Kumar, the 4 seasons Miami had head coach Kieran Kumar. 4-time first team All-MAC, 2-time tournament MVP, 2024 Player of the Year, and 2021 Freshman of the Year. For Carly Spade, was a top 10 finalist for Softball Player of the Year, according to Softball USA. And 5 All-American selections by 3 different softball media outlets. So she's a fantastic assistant in her own right. Talked about a couple of other coaches earlier on in our broadcast. Prestigious staff Kieran Kumar has put together for this Buckeye team. 18-5, the Buckeyes lead. A fastball outside, misses the plate, and it's a 3-0 count. Watchell has not thrown a strike yet. Just pitching to Peyton Steffes right now. Steffes has had 3 at-bats, a double in the first inning, and there's the first strike from Watchell. Watchell does not have another appearance this season. This is her first one. Quite frankly, she's not on Ohio State's roster online. She's not listed on the live stats with any stats, and I wasn't able to do any preparation work on her. So we're seeing her for the first time. It's not a great opening appearance. She's walked 3 in a row. Massaro up to 3rd, Hannah Simcoe to 2nd, Peyton Steffes at 1st with Taylor Barrett up at the plate. Falcons still need 6 runs to avoid the run rule. And it's been a carousel around the bases with walks and balls. This pitch just low. Watchell still cannot hit the zone. Barrett takes ball 1. Next pitch, 2nd strike of the appearance. It's a 1-1 count to Taylor Barrett. Barrett does not have a hit yet. Has a hit in each of her last 12 starts, 17 and 42 over that span. Not games played. She had a pinch hit appearance. Her only game not started this season. Back pick to first base, sliding back in time is Steffes. Barrett takes another one for a 2-1 count. Cam Kaufman on deck, Ashley Chevalier in the hole, barring pinch hits from head coach Michelle Gardner. I doubt there'll be many. 2-1 pitch, waist high, strike 2. Hit streak on the line for Barron. She's got 2 strikes. Hannah Massaro on third, Hannah Simcoe on first, Peyton Steffes on second. Here's a slice into right field, playing it cleanly as Parisian, and Barrett will be retired for the first out of the inning. First ball in play as well. The runners will all hold. No reason to try for home. Get yourself thrown out. On third base was Hannah Massaro. Cam Kaufman, the shortstop, now up for Bowling Green. The Falcons, this midweek game is their first midweek non-conference game of the MAC regular season. Not a part of the MAC regular season, but worth noting that it's non-conference midweek. Youngstown State doubleheader tomorrow is canceled. That was at Youngstown State. I think probably good for this Falcon team to get a couple of days of practice before this weekend's endeavor at Kent State. 1 game Friday, 2 games Saturday. As of right now, unless they change due to weather, it's supposed to be torrential downpour in the north part of Ohio. Those 3 games, Friday and Saturday, are in Kent and will stay in Kent, and they'll have to play probably at least 2 of them, if not reschedule them for midweek later in the season. 1-1 pitch, ripped past the shortstop. That'll at least score 1. It'll bring Massaro in and hold everybody else up. An RBI single for Cam Kaufman, 6th run of the game on the board for the Falcons. That series, a big one for Bowling Green. Kent State around the Falcons in overall record. Bowling Green with a disappointing weekend against Buffalo. Thought they could have taken at least 2, took just 1 and lost the series. That's 3 series losses in a row for the Falcons. Kent State certainly a beatable team. Have an okay offense, one of the bottom pitching staffs, and Falcons have one of the top pitching staffs in the Mid-American Conference, the top pitching staff in MAC play in the Mid-American Conference, although their overall standing will decrease today. Their ERA is going to go off of a cliff with 18 earned runs today. Well, not 18 earned, but 18 runs given up. Right over the middle of the plate, strike 1 to Chevalier. Still bases loaded, but 1 out now. Double play is in order for Watchell and the Ohio State side of the ball. Infield and outfield playing straight up to Chevalier. She had an RBI single in the first inning, scored the first run of the game. Just away, she sees ball 2. Pretty much 4 catchers on the roster for the Falcons. Chevalier's got the starting nod. Ava McKee has 8 starts this season, hits in just 3 of them, but 5 walks in those 8 games played as well. She reaches base quite a bit. Other catchers, Kyra Haney has just 1 at-bat against Indiana, March 7th of 2025. That's her only career game played, although she's an All-Ohio first-team selection in 2024 as a senior in high school. And then Quinn Reeves, a freshman this season, DH this season, has not caught, but a utility player that can catch for the Falcons if needed. And with Ashley Chevalier as a senior and the Falcons needing a starter next year, it's down to McKee, Kyra Haney, or Quinn Reeves. And we'll see when it comes to next year, maybe later on in the season, where the nod goes from Michelle Gardner. She's pretty much rode McKee and Chevalier the last 2 years. McKee had more of the starting job toward the end of last season. Chevalier definitely more in this 2026 season. Full count from Watchell. Check swing and strike 3. A forwards K for Watchell against Ashley Chevalier. And now the Falcons down to their last out, and they need to at least get 5 runs to extend this game to this bottom of the 5th and the 6th. Ohio State, the home team, leads 18-6. Hannah Hunt takes a ball inside. One ball, no strikes, 2 outs, bases loaded. Watchell winds, deals above the waist. New catcher in the game as well. It's Regan Milliken, it looks like, behind the dish, the grad student. Bounds up to the plate and a stop. 3-0 count to Hannah Hunt. Nowhere to put the runner for Watchell. Addie Martin on deck. Just inside. A walk taken by Hannah Hunt. Hannah Massaro has already scored in this inning. Now Hannah Simcoe will come around to score. A long inning it's been so far to just have 2 runs across. Cam Kaufman up to second. Peyton Steffes up to third. Addie Martin at the plate. Jillian Gardner pinch runs for Hannah Hunt at first base. Quite a fast runner is Jillian Gardner. Scored a game-winning run on March 14th, that was, against Central Michigan. Game 1 of the Mid-American Conference. The Falcons won 1-0. Here's a soft line drive over to shortstop from Addie Martin, and it's put away by Abby Wilhelm. Ohio State with an 18-7 victory over Bowling Green. That's the biggest victory in recent memory for Ohio State and one of the biggest losses for the Falcons in recent memory as well. Quick step back. We'll bring you post-game in just a little bit. You're listening to Falcon Softball here on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Looking for a BG Athletics discussion show? Check out The Swoop, where a rotating cast of Falcon Media Sports Network co-hosts talk everything BGSU athletics. New episodes are available every Tuesday at 6 p.m. on the BG Falcon Media YouTube channel.
This is your captain. We are going to be experiencing some slight turbulence. Please fasten your... Oh, hold on. Just got a video of my cat.
Imagine the pilot of an airplane was as confident as you are texting and driving. Seems kind of crazy when you put it like that.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
On October 26, 2024, BGSU cornerback Jordan Oladokin snagged 2 interceptions, including a pick 6, in BG's 41-26 win over rival Toledo. Falcon Media Sports Network's Reese Patricus was on the call on Falcon Radio.
Minute 13 left to go. Ball picked off. Jordan Oladokin. He's got Green in front of him. Jordan Oladokin. 10, 5, touchdown Bowling Green. Ball game. 41-26, Bowling Green wins this year's edition of the Battle of I-75 up here in the Glass Bowl.
This has been a Falcon Media Sports Network featured call. Are you a fan of BG Falcon Media and the Falcon Media Sports Network? You can show your support for BGSU student media by donating at the bottom of the page of stories on bgfalconmedia.com.
Continue the WBGU experience online by engaging with our social media profiles on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Subscribe to our feeds to stay connected with the local community and receive information about special events and programming. Like us and share our content to help build the WBGU audience. 88.1 FM WBGU Bowling Green is Northwest Ohio's community radio station.
Looking for a BGSU Athletics talk radio show? Tune into the Zig Zone every Sunday at 4 p.m., where a panel of Falcon Media Sports Network members discuss the hottest BG sports topics. Only on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Tom has been a teacher for over 40 years. One day, I think one of the students had asked the question and he didn't remember the answer. And I also noticed that he was letting his class out earlier than they were supposed to let out. I was really starting to worry.
Levi and I talked about how it would change our lives, but he was there beside me.
When something feels different, it could be Alzheimer's. Now is the time to talk. Visit alz.org/ourstories to learn more. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Some people won't give you the real talk on drugs, but it's time we know the facts. Fentanyl is killing people. It's a powerful opioid, often made illegally and commonly mixed with illicit drugs. It can even be pressed into counterfeit pills that resemble prescription medications. Just 2 milligrams, about the size of a few grains of sand, could potentially be lethal. This isn't an ad to scare you, but it is an ad to make you think twice. Get the facts. Go to realdealonfentanyl.com. This message is brought to you by the
And welcome to our Falcon Media Sports Network postgame show here on WBGU 88.1 FM. I am not Ben Korak. I'm Nate Henners here in the Killeen Center studios. Having a bit of technical difficulties down in Columbus. Really picked a good time to have technical difficulties in all senses. You know, they waited till the game was over, and then the internet decided to cut out. So, let's get to the post-game show right now. So, Ohio State softball getting a big win over the BG Falcons today, 18-7, the final score with the Buckeyes on top. And really, this was the last time BGSU gave up 18-plus runs was on March 19th of 2016 against Michigan State. So kind of a historic day for the Falcons, but not in a great way for the team. Again, 18-7, the final score today. Now leading the Falcons on the offensive side was Cameron Kaufman. She had a 2-3 AB and 1 RBI. She was leading the Falcons today. Now getting to a bit of the game. The first inning ended with the Falcons behind 5-2. The Buckeyes scored 5. BG had 2. Second inning, BG scored nothing. The Buckeyes scored another 5. Third inning, again, Falcons scored nothing. Ohio State 2 runs. Fourth inning, Buckeyes scored 6, Falcons scored 3, and then in the fifth, the Falcons did score 2, but by then, the game was over, and again, the Buckeyes defeating the Falcons 18-7 today. So, not a great day for the Falcons, and again, the most runs they've given up since at least March 19th of 2016 against Michigan State. So almost over 10 years now since they've given up 18-plus runs in a game. So that is going to wrap things up, though, for our coverage today here on WBGU 88.1 FM. A big thank you to Ben Korak for the broadcast today. It was quite a busy day. If you've been in Bowling Green today, you may know it is raining outside right now. I've just been looking at the screen for a little bit, but yes, the rain is still going. Pretty much ever since we started with the broadcast, it's been raining like crazy. Luckily, I think the thunder has stopped, but so the game was actually originally supposed to be here in Bowling Green. It got moved down to Columbus, and they were luckily enough able to avoid all this rain and storms, but they did get quite a bit of wind, and we did obviously have some internet issues as well down there. So, but Ben Korak was able to get down there, be able to broadcast the game, so a big thank you to him. A big thank you to some of the athletic staff at Ohio State who helped get him on the air, because even though we had a little bit of internet issues at the end, it was cooperating way less until their help. So, anyways, though, that is going to wrap things up for our coverage today. Again, the Buckeyes defeating the Bowling Green Falcons softball team 18-7 today. I'm Nate Henners. Have a great rest of your evening, and we'll see you again soon here on WBGU 88.1 FM.
This broadcast has been a Falcon Media Sports Network production. For more BGSU sports news and updates, follow Falcon Media Sports Network on Twitter X at BG_FMSN, BG Falcon Media on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, and head over to BGFalconMedia.com.